Hello everyone, welcome to the Global Biz Apps Weekend 2021 powered by D365 Champs. It's day 2 today and we hope you are doing well and keeping safe. I am Venkat Subbarao Polsetti moderating this session along with Vivek. This session or keynote is presented is given by Vidyasagar Chitchula and Vidyasagar will be taking about product strategy in Dynamics 365. A brief introduction about Vidyasagar Chitchula. So he's a principal solution R&D architect, fast track plus customer and partner success group, Dynamics 365 R&D with an more than 2 decades of experience in 21 plus years and the last 13 plus years was at Microsoft, who is delivering the solution architect assessment programs for our customer D365 customer engagements with unfiltered visibility into new product innovations and key investment areas and establish a feedback channel with our engineering teams for better improvement of Microsoft products and services. Before I hand over this session to Vidyasagar, I would like to mention that if you have any queries, please feel free to drop it in the chat window. We will take them either during the session if possible or during the Q&A time. Thank you again for joining and enjoy the session. Vidyasagar sir, over to you.
Thanks, Venkatesh. Let me just share my screen and please let me know if you're able to see.
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. Just a minute. Okay, thank you very much for having me here. Thanks to Dynamicity and the team over there. And I hope the sessions are really helping the community to learn more about the Dynamics 365 and its value proposition. I'm honored to be here to talk about the product innovation on the Dynamics 365 Power Platform side of it from Microsoft. As Venkatesh said, like my name is Vidyasagar Chitchula. I'm part of the Dynamics 365 R&D organization. We have a group called Fast Track that helps in ensuring that the D365 value proposition goes into our top customers. And there is an incremental value out of the product investments and the innovation that we are bringing to the community and to the customers and the partners. A part of this customer engagement, which is one sort of app centered around the customer engagement out of the variety set of the D365 portfolio and part of the R&D organization. Like Venkatesh mentioned, like I carry 20 plus years of experience, primarily into the customer side of it, but also have had a couple of, predominantly in the CRM domain, customer relationship management domain, by working on various other products before getting into Microsoft about 14 years ago. That said, let's quickly get on to the purpose of this call, because this is like I have just 30 minutes of time and I'm not sure how much I can provide the value because I have a lot of thing to cover, but I'll try to be as succinct as possible and leave the last 10 plus minutes for the conversation. And I look forward to hearing from you and provide my sense of inputs, viewpoints on the questions what you may have. The very first thing is that, what is this Dynamics 365 Power Platform? Most of you have already worked on it. Most of you may be the seasonal experts, working on Dynamics 365 or a Dynamics CRM, what we used to be called, a couple of years ago. The D365 and Power Platform, which is recently coined, as an application platform on top of the Microsoft Azure, are a set of SaaS-based applications that primarily help in making the digital transformation that our customers are looking to enable their businesses to meet the current challenges, right? The current challenges of the pandemic, the current challenges of being competitive in their offerings. And for all this to happen, it is important that all parts of the business should be integrated, should be collaborative, should be able to provide the insights out of the data that's being collected from all these four corners or four different corners of the enterprise. It may be coming from the websites, it may be coming from the social data, or it may be coming from within the organization, from the employee engagement, or from the products and services what the given enterprise has, and or maybe from the suppliers through whom the products and services are being offered to the customers. So it is about combining this proliferated data and making right insights, and thereby infuse it into the apps that the various parts of the given enterprise uses. Is what all about the digital transformation, right? And how Microsoft Dynamics or a Power Platform help in making this digital transformation is all about this D365 Power Platform. And it is, in a way, it is about from being a reactive to a proactive approach, leveraging the new tenets of what the modern day enterprise is looking to realize their digital transformation. And there are three important facets what Microsoft believes in making this modern business softwares should be supporting to make that the enterprises transform to cater to the needs of the customers. One is the data first, right? Data is everywhere. Data is everywhere, and to get the data and then infuse the data with the AI-based algorithms, and then give that unmatched, unparalleled support to the employees of the organization who meet the customers, who talk to the customers, and be able to get the data and help closing the deals or help meeting the customers' needs as much as possible from wherever they log in, be it from the Dynamics apps, be it from the mobile apps, be it from the other assets like Microsoft Teams or Outlook, etc., etc. So these are the three tenets what we feel will help in the will help supporting this new business, new generation of the business apps. Now, how are we realizing that? At the start, at the base, as we said, data is everywhere, and you should be able to collect the data. Now to store the data, you really need a planet scale kind of a system. Dynamics 365 is no longer a siloed system that it is built from the ground up to the top in its own stack. It leverages the Microsoft Azure as much as possible from top to the bottom or bottom to the top to make this the experiences as much scale as possible with a good performance. Now the data is stored at a Microsoft Azure level, and the data can be a structured data or an unstructured data or a continuous stream data, because we are talking about data being collected from any part of the organization. You really need that level of storage scalability that's only can be met by the Microsoft Azure services, right? And yet you need to be taking care of the privacy, compliance, security aspects of the data, the regional sovereignty. Like, if the data is stored in India, it should respect the Indian geopolitical boundaries, right? For all kind of regulations and etc., right? So that is the level of support what only Microsoft Azure can support. So the data starts within the Microsoft Azure, and then leveraging the Microsoft AI capabilities to build insights or to infuse the data with insights or come out with a predictive and a prescriptive based analytics. Now that infused data gets into the Power Platform to make an easy proposition for citizen developers, because end of the day, the Dynamics 365 is offered to the business users, to the business community, and we cannot expect a business community to be a seasoned developer. You need a citizen developer capabilities to make what you want to support your business processes. And that's where the Microsoft Power Platform comes into the picture. It comes with certain services that makes this infused data out of this Microsoft AI platform to be even more useful for the citizen developers. Now, once you have this infused data being available to you in a much more easy format, which is then fed into Microsoft Dynamics 365 apps or a Microsoft 365 apps, which are a pre-packaged apps that Microsoft has built to rather than starting from the scratch. You can start from certain level of maturity on various aspects of the business, and that's where the Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Dynamics come into the picture. Well, you can build your own apps on top of this Power Platform to cater to your specific needs, where Dynamics 365 is probably not there at. Yeah, so that's a whole about this Microsoft Cloud and how it supports the various things. Now that said, end of the day, we are here to support this entire enterprise. Now the enterprise can have, on the far left side is about your suppliers, on the far right side you have the customers, and then you have your own processes that's built to make these operations run. So to get all these facets covered, because whatever we talk about being a digitally transformed for a given organization, unless until you touch upon all these 4 different corners of the given enterprise, customers, products, assets, suppliers, it is unlikely that you be able to collect the data that will help improve the business processes. And that's where you have this entire stack of Microsoft Cloud is geared to support all these parts of the given business: employee facing, products and services, customer facing applications, or your assets, or your supplier relationship management for a better supply chain systems, from the time customer making an order to the time it's getting processed to the time it is getting delivered. So you have a lot of data, the entire process that gets amassed, the proliferated data gets amassed, consolidated, made insights, and then feed it back into the apps that the respective personas of these, the 5 assets what we are showing here in the picture, right? And now, not only it is about these horizontal capabilities what we are providing across all these 5 facets. Microsoft has recently put a lot of bets on the industry specific, bringing industry specific flavor on top of these SaaSified apps. Like, as you may know, we have apps in the financial services, we have an offering in the retail, in the manufacturing space, and non-profit space, and we are coming out with even more industry flavors so that you have a tailored specific experience based on the industry. Now, that said, most of you may be knowing it. It's about those set of apps meeting all these 5 scenarios what we have, 5 areas of a given enterprise, what we talked about, spanning from sales to marketing to the customer service to the field service. And then on the operations and supply chain side, you have a commerce apps, supply chain management apps, project operation apps. And on the finance, you have for account ledger balancing, accounting and the financial. You have the various apps what Dynamics 365 provides under the hood of the Azure. Now, all what's important to be noted is the AI enablement, what we just talked about, is about being able to collect the data from all these various interactions of these various personas of suppliers, employees, customers, and all the devices that may need to be used in this entire process should be properly, taken up, infused, and then feed it back into these apps, right? I'm not going into the specific apps, but what may need to be understood by you, what is important for us to understand here is that we have the traditional apps where you are building this business process, but then we have these 2 types of the various insights. One is action insights, other one is insight, apps through these various apps called sales insights, customer service insights, customer insights, process insights. Now, all these 2 are not like, in isolation, but complement to each other. Now, if you, a simple example I'll give, if you're opening a sales app, Dynamics 365 sales app, when you are opening a particular lead record, you would see something called a next best action. Now, that is not about somebody has coded it. It is about the AI based on that lead's interactions, based on the customer interactions with the lead, or a lead's potential visits to the various browsers or the various websites and the social interactions. An AI is being played on to see what could be the possible way of interacting with this particular lead, thereby you're able to close the lead. And that's the insight what we are talking about, right? And then we have a concept called a conversation intelligence, where as you are talking to the customer, and based on the customer's tone or based on the customer's pursuit in terms of giving the data, you're able to detect the customer sentiment. You're able to detect what is the value that customer is probably looking at out of the conversation. And there is another AI coming into the picture, right? If you wanted to know, maybe you can try out sales conversation intelligence, which is already in a preview state. You can go and get more information about it. So similarly, in this call, we are only focusing on the customer engagement side, but you have the other side of it, like in the operations and the supply chain side, there also you have a lot of insights that come into the play. Now, all said, like we mentioned, this Dynamics 365 through these various apps is about optimizing the operations, transforming the products, and empowering the employees through the various collaboration methods, and all to make sure that your customers are intact. You're not losing the customer. You're giving that next value add so that the customers are sticky to the given business, right? Now, that's about the overall Dynamics 365 vision in which Microsoft is going in terms of bringing the next, catering to the digital transformation, what the organizations are looking at through this collective capture of the data, adding insights to it, infusing it into the business processes that you are building via the apps that we have delivered, right? So those are the three main aspects. Now coming to them one level down, we talked about the concept, we talked about how Microsoft envisaged this, the entire data plus AI plus collaboration is. But when it comes to the implementation, how the product logically is defined to support the vision what I have just mentioned, right? If you have a two major categorizations, one on the left is called a Dataverse platform. Now, Dataverse is your transactional system where you are capturing the data not only from the direct apps like a sales app, marketing app, or a service app, or an operations app. You can also get the data from the various other sources to support the business processes. Now, at the same time, on the right side, you have a big data repository called Azure Data Lake Gen 2. And then you have Azure Synapse combined with the Power BI. You be able to, and then add Azure Machine Learning and AI Builder capabilities to really do the insights, to proliferate that proliferated data, add insights to it, apply AI to it, and then push those insights back to the apps, right? So this is what a logical segregation of how these capabilities are built in this platform. Now, if you see on the top left, you have the various apps. You can build your own apps, or you can leverage the SaaS apps, what Dynamics 365 provides. But then you have a continuous infusion of the data, insights flowing into these apps through the big data repositories, what we have on the right side of it, right? Now, in other words, it is also about the citizen developer, because if someone is saying that they're using Dynamics 365, most likely it is the citizen developer who may not be very much a seasoned developer or a expert in writing the code. And that's where this Power Platform comes into the picture, right? Make it low code, no code platform, and being able to infuse AI in a way that you really don't have to be a data scientist. And that's where on the left side, you have all these SaaSified apps with an ability to provide an unseasoned developer to bring value on the data that's collected. And on the extreme right side, you have about the most advanced applications, the PaaS platform, where you can build your own custom machine learning models or your own advanced KPIs using the various other constructs what Azure provides, right? So this is a whole ecosystem. Now on the bottom, you have this data proliferated from the various places like social and the ERP systems, CRM systems, etc., and thereby you will get it, right? So that means that there is a mind map of how a Power Platform looks like. Underneath you have a data connectors, you have the three constructs: Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI, and on the Power App side, you have the UI front of it. Where we are recently coming out with a concept called a modern app, where you have a UCI plus Canvas all put together. You might have heard the term custom pages, using which you can actually build apps to your choice, based on the needs and the demands of the given business, right? And then you have the various people, like your internal users or external users, depending on the audience. You use the respective technology to build the UI, and use the Power BI in combination with your data lake and the Azure Synapse. Thereby you can get the data. And then you have a cognitive services, which AI Builder is built on top of it to give that easy capability for the citizen developers to make use of it, right? Now, lastly, before I talk about some of the other things, there are 5 areas where Microsoft Dynamics is putting bets on. One is enterprise trust, because end of the day, it needs to be used by the enterprise, right? So that means that you have to provide all required compliance, privacy, security grants, so that the data is secured and it is managed. It is very much trusted, and that is our most key tenet of any development. And so enterprise trust continues to be a level of focus, going forward as well, right? And you maybe, I'll give you a couple of links, what that will give you an explanation of what are those features that will support you that. And then AI everywhere, no doubt, it has to be an AI in every data that you are capturing. There has to be an AI support, and that is where we are working on to meet it. Collaborative apps, there is a complete we have to ensure that the apps that you are using today is not just on the web browser, but the Teams. Microsoft Teams has got even more importance in light of the pandemic, where we feel that the data has to be available through Microsoft Teams as well to get that level of collaboration. Fusion Teams and hyper automation, it is again more about the collaboration and improving the productivity, right? Now, that said, there are few areas what we believe we should work on to ensure that our customers will continue to get the benefits out of their investments on the D365. My recommendation is, please continue to tap on what's being available on D365 and Power Platform, because it is an evolution where we see a continuous changes. We deliver those continuous benefits month-on-month basis, week-on-week basis, month-on-month basis, and twice in a year as well, right? So please do participate in the testing of these features, because every time we release a feature, we actually release it for a private preview, for a public preview, and only then it goes, it becomes generally available. So we really recommend the community step forward, be part of, try to be, as supportive to the product, because only when we get the feedback in the preview testing, we're able to build and deliver at the best product, right? So that's why we really need your help to be part of the private preview and build the cloud principles, right? Configure before customize. See how the solution can support it without much customizations. And then finally, choosing the right methodology that supports the cloud implementations. And when I come to the right methodology, Fast Track is one, has provided something called a Success by Design, which is already available for a public consumption. You don't have to be a Fast Track covered customer. It is already available. We recommend you just go through it, because when you are implementing, especially for a big enterprises, it is always important that you need to look into the various aspects of what the implementation is going to be like. Unless until you have that clarity, how much of a product can release, if we are not putting that in place in a right methodology of choice or a right execution of the steps, it's not going to help a lot. And at the same time, waterfall is no longer going to help, because when the product itself is coming out in months, across in weeks and in months, if we say that this is what I'm going to do for the next 6 months, I'm locking it, that's not going to help us, right? Because you end up losing something, or you end up building something that is no longer supposed to be a more optimal in the system. Now, that said, some of the things that I have put here, we recommend. There is a recently we had a Microsoft Ignite event that took place on November 2nd to 4th, I believe. I have put a couple of links here. I'll share this with the Dynamicity team. Please take a look at it. Try to go through the leadership keynotes and also some of the features. You will understand what exactly where we are heading to, and some continuous learning. I have just placed a couple of links here, so please try to understand. Subscribe to these links, and you will get even better information about these products. Last but not least, the fast track offerings, right? The Dynamics 365 fast track actually does provide some support to the customers, depending on certain eligibility criteria. I have put those links here. Please go for it. And if you want to be a fast track recognized architect, the last link is there for you. Like, someone can nominate you, and you nominate yourself by your company or by your partner connects. And there is a process to follow. But once you are nominated, once you're selected, you have an ability to build a success by design. That said, I don't know, I think I have already crossed my time, but that's about for today's session, and I look forward to hear from you if there's any questions. Sorry, Venkat, I think I have already crossed.
No issues. That was an amazing keynote. There was a question from Deepesh. As industry clouds evolve, what is your opinion on ISVs who have their own solutions and accelerators?
Oh, that's an absolutely fantastic question. Microsoft predominantly is built on ISVs, right? Microsoft is not here to replace the ISVs at any cost. There is always a layer for ISVs to put their industry experience. The reason why Microsoft has come out with the industry solutions is to give you that level of the flavor for a given industry. But there is a lot of vacuum that only ISVs can fill in, depending on the country of the business where you are doing, or depending on the deep processes what you are building it. So predominantly Microsoft has been the place for ISVs, and it will continue to be the space for ISVs. So bring your innovations and build on top of it. All it needs is being able to meet that platform in the principles in which we are building, so that it is a better place for Microsoft and for the ISVs.
That's really great, Sagar sir. So thank you very much. If you have any queries, please, guys, you can unmute yourself and you can ask.
Thanks.
There are any other queries, Venkata? I don't think so. Yeah. So yes, Srinivasa, we'll share you the links shortly after this session. Okay. Okay. On the closing note, I really want to thank you, Sagar sir, for coming up and sharing your great knowledge. We know you're over a few decades over here now, and it was always great for us to work with you wherever we could. Thank you very much, sir, once again for joining so early. We know it's on Sunday, on weekends, and calling people like you who are already very occupied during your weekdays as well and on weekends. Thank you very much for joining us. We really want to see you in future as well, sharing your knowledge and your expertise to champs. Thank you once again.
Thanks, Vivek. Thanks, Dynamicity team. Thanks once again for having me here, and it's always pleasure to give whatever I know, to the community, and because this helps in ensuring that we are using the product in the right way, and that helps get the continuous benefits over the time. Thanks once again. Have a good weekend and take care.
Thank you. Yes, thank you again. From my first coffee I had with you while I was at Microsoft to now that I'm able to get you on a community session. Thank you for taking that request on short notice. Thank you to the wonderful organizing team. We had 12.5 hours of great learning yesterday. Today morning, more than 50 people coming on a Sunday morning in India as a testimony to people really wanted to hear it. We would request you in many more sessions in the future as D365 Champs community. And it was really insightful. Thank you for coming up and taking the effort.
Thanks very much, Deepesh. Thank you all. Take care.
Thank you, sir.